The days where you had to put your hands behind your back and talk to an elderly person, today they put their hands in their pocket and they are scratching their crotch. You can look at a young man, you look at you and say, yo, what's up? What's up? The new crop of broadcasters can call you in the studio and say, Charlie, new mommy, why? I'm more traffic, not under the reins of Tommy Annan Forson. Hell no. I have been jujued once. I was in the studio one afternoon when I was talking, and all of a sudden my lips started getting big. Wow. You know, from nothing.
Just a popular, very big presenter. One of the Despite Media. He's big. Everybody knows him. In those days, before he comes to the radio station, before he goes on, he has an agenda. He has fished out an information from a top politician. So when he comes, he will be hitting he won't go directly to the point, but he'll be hitting as if he wants to. Then, before you realize, his phone ringing. Then you give the phone to the producer. You go downstairs, envelope, brown envelope, comes up. Come and give it to him. It means that conversation needs to be.
The new media, unfortunately, is taking people for granted because we are running at a breakneck speed. Yeah. Everybody's looking for the latest. Yeah. The latest music, the latest information. It goes on TikTok, it goes on Facebook, it goes on Instagram, all that, without having to check the facts.
So our guest today is someone who has been, all over. He's done this, he's done that. He's been around for almost 5 decades. You are itching to know the person, right? Yes, but before that, guys, welcome to AfroPod. Yes, AfroPod, the number uno, the whole of Africa. We give you education, we give you entertainment, we inform you everything about anything that you want to know. Right here on AfroPod. And I'm going to introduce my people today. I have Troy, the MC on my stream, right? Troy, what's up?
Yeah, I'm good, bro. What's up?
Charlie?
Yeah, I can't wait for us to start the conversation. There's a legend in the studio, someone we are going to tap knowledge from. So I still can't wait.
Charlie. Me, I can't wait myself to introduce him proper. I have my brother, the man with the bag, Sticks, Mr. Sticks. The artist. What's up, Sticks?
You refer me, Mr. Sticks. I'm the man with the bag. If you want some bag, you gotta call me.
Sharp. And of course, our beautiful Queen Lana. How are you doing? All right, so people, I told you today we are going to talk about something very interesting, something very educative. And guys, see, this man I'm about to introduce, I'm honored. He's a legend. He's someone who has gone through the drill of broadcasting in Ghana here, and the whole of Africa. He has been on radio and on TV for close to 50 years. Yes, 47 good years. The likes of all our big, broadcasters, Komladu Moore, Yapo Ankra, George Broom, John Jermaine, Kwame Fachi, all these great personalities passed through this man. And he has impacted a lot of knowledge into these people. And today, it is a singular honor to introduce the one and only Uncle Tommy Annan Forson. Uncle, welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here. Hello, Troy. Hello, Sticks. The man with the bag.
Yeah.
But what's in the bag?
Oh, we got.
Is that L'Agent?
Yeah.
Hi, Lana. How are you doing? Yeah, it's good to be here. I'm honored to be here.
Uncle, you've been able to stay afloat for all these years.
I'm a good swimmer.
It's one of the things that a lot of people love about you because you already know the answer to the questions before they ask you.
I just have a good sense of humor, that's all.
Yeah. Wow. So today we are going to look at the media landscape. Of course, we are using Ghana as a case study. You have been around for a very long time, if I'm not mistaken, over 4 decades. Yeah. And then all these years, there are a lot of things that has gone on. I mean, with regards to the traditional media and then the new media. we want to engage you today. The knowledge that you have and everything, we want to learn from you. We want to, first of all, look at the historical perspective when it comes to traditional media, and then how we've been able to bridge the gap between traditional media and new media. This question goes to you. After that, my people, they have the they have a lot to ask you. So we are all here today.
Oh my goodness.
All we need is education.
It sounds like I'm going to be interrogated by the FBI, you know.
Yeah, of course, we'll chip in our own and what have you. But honestly, we need that kind of rich education when it comes to the media landscape in Ghana. Give us a historical background.
Well, I'll tell you something. Radio in Ghana
Right.
started way back as Radio ZOY, you know, which was then, people call it Zoe, but that was in 1933, 53 or 33, I really can't remember.
Wow.
But that was the advent of radio in Ghana. But interestingly, people started embracing radio because gradually the advent of information started going out. The issue of news, people wanting to know what was happening in the country with regards to social issues, cultural issues, you know, governmental issues, and stuff like that. So I would call it mainstream media rather than traditional.
Okay.
Mainstream is something that everybody has embraced, but
Right.
it has taken a whole different step between when radio actually started and television started in the very early 60s, you know, as to what the media is today, the new media, as what people call it. So mainstream media has had a very positive impact, you know, because at a point in time, everything that came out of a radio set or a redivision box or television set, you were made to believe it was true, because unlike today, where you have Google, you have, you know, these sites to be able to ascertain the facts, you know, and figures and all these things. Those days, everything you hear on traditional or mainstream radio was true. But I would say that the old media has had a tremendous impact on the people, even as of today. A lot of young people I know believe also in the old-time media because of the issue of professionalism, information, you know, so many things.
Right.
And so today's media is different. It's trendy. Everybody's just following sharp, you know. But I would want to believe that mainstream media or the old-time media has been of tremendous benefit to all of us.
Okay.
And I think as it goes on, if you believe in that concept, as they say, old wine tastes much better than the fresh wine, will do us a lot of good.
Have we been able to bridge the gap between mainstream media and traditional media as at now?
It's yes, we've been able to bridge the gap, but it's been a very slow process. Okay, very slow process in that people were finding it very difficult to fuse the old and the new. Okay, now if you're talking about the old, look at the kind of music people used to play in the olden days.
Yeah.
You had groups like the Ramblers, you had groups like E.T. Mensah, you had all those people who played music of the old. But today, those old ones are being transformed into new, what do you call it? And rap is being put on top. People like Amachi Dede, you know, are groups that people will always respect.
Of course.
Okay? But then, if you're talking about bridging the gap, it's been a very, very gradual process because people are looking for breakneck speed information, which is there. You know, if you look at TikTok, information is there. If you look at Instagram, Facebook, all these things are there. That's where you get information. And so they're sort of like slowly no packing the old media. But no matter what, you cannot, under any circumstances, do without the old media.
Troy, what's your take on this, and if you have anything to talk to Uncle about?
Oh, I think I agree with what Uncle Tommy said, right? And I'm a lover of the old media. Because honestly, there are times you're driving home, you want to listen to some calm music, and you could tune into maybe 10 stations, and all you hear are loud music, right? There are times you want to listen to country music, you tune in, the same loudness. There are times you want to listen to information, and when you tune in, you find out that it's one-sided. And so if you don't have the balance, how are you able to decode the kind of information they are spreading across? So for me, I'm a lover of the old media, not to take anything away of the new media. The new media, it's good. When it comes to marketing, when it comes to sales, when it comes to, the deals, it works for them. But I think we still have to go back, learn, and then come back. If this is Africa, we have a different culture altogether.
Yeah.
If you think you are watching this on YouTube or Google and you want to inculcate it to the kind of culture we have in Ghana, it won't work, right? I think we also, in Key, it's called Sunyatra, right? Sunyatra, like we're overdoing it. We're overlearning from the people we are even copying from. We copy blindly. Right? There are so many things out there we can learn. But we should, I tell people that if we're going to have a war in Ghana, it's either the media, who's going to cost it, religion, another factor, or any other thing else. But the media, very strong. These days, they say it's the fourth arm of the government. Very, very forced, like very, very strong. And so I think we have a lot of job to do. Bridging the gap.
I'm not cutting you, but
Yes,
look
sir.
at what happened in Rwanda.
Yes, the genocide.
The genocide. It was based on one presenter.
Wow.
Yes.
Just one
Yes,
presenter.
the Hutus and the Tutsis.
One presenter cracking a joke about the height of human beings. And it's like, okay, so let's go out and shorten
Them.
the tall ones.
You
That's
see.
how the whole genocide, over 800,000. See, so it tells you how powerful,
The media
whether it's
is.
old media or new media is. It's the most powerful medium you can ever think of. It can create and can destroy. When we talk about the media, it looks like one whole big organization, okay? But once you are a journalist or you do journalism, you've studied journalism. At the end of the day, whatever comes out as a professionalism is what you're talking about. I am the media, singularly. Somebody else is the media, singularly. Whether you write, whether you broadcast, whatever it is, okay? But to come to the very point that you've made, which I really like, is the fact that you go to study. But as to whether you study to do the right thing or not is the question.
Okay, so in order to just bring that, actually the question I was actually gonna ask you, the risk, because it actually put a lot of people off when you see that kind of scenario. Let's say that kind of scenario happened in Ghana. Do you think people still want to do journalism? Do you think people want to report?
People do.
So I was actually looking at this. You, based on your experience and your longevity in the media, have you, by any way, been threatened?
That's a very good question. I have not been threatened, okay? But for want of a better word, okay, depending on the way people looked at me as an individual, my success story, I have been jujued once.
Wow.
I have been jujued once.
I think I just for that story, I know about it.
Yeah.
Let's have it. Let's have it.
Yeah,
Let's have it.
I was on air one afternoon, and I remember some years back, if I had palm oil, I suffered from an allergy. I'd get these little bumps and stuff like that. But I stopped for a very long time. And so I was in the studio one afternoon when I was talking, and all of a sudden my lips started getting big.
Wow.
From nothing. Because I said to myself, So I started speaking like somebody who is not deaf and dumb, but I couldn't say anything.
words
They were not coming out.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I had to go off air and went to the administrator with a hanky around my mouth, and my face was looking like Humpty Dumpty. So I went and I went home. I went to my doctor. They did all the tests, blood tests, kidney test, liver test, everything test. They found nothing. And so strangely enough, I was at home one morning, very, very early in the morning, when my watchman said somebody was looking for me. I said at 5 o'clock, 5:30 in the morning, who would be looking for me? My eldest brother, we look very much alike. And incidentally, he's Jerry and I'm Tom, so we call ourselves Tom and Jerry. So I thought it was him because he was a state photographer at the time.
Okay.
He said, no, Nyowo GBC, no. So, being a stranger, I would not allow you into the house. So we sat on the porch. And he said, oh, you are Tommy Annan Forson. I said, yes. What brings you here? He said, oh, I'm Pastor so and so and so and so. Now, one no. Send your no. And yet, it is not sickness. Somebody has done you.
Wow.
I said, come on, you can't be serious. I don't believe in those things. You know, why would anybody want to? He said, yes. Jealousy. Because the rate at which you have risen from somebody who has not even gone to a university, being given a chance in GBC at the time, because I failed my maths exams successfully. I failed successfully. That one, you know. Being given a chance, let's give him a try.
Yeah.
Okay, that was how my broadcasting career started. And so my talent was, let me see how different I can be. And from PA, you go to SPA to producer. Those were the ranks.
Yeah.
And then you go to blah, blah. So I was promoted from PA to producer. That's what started the whole thing. Like, who is this man coming from nowhere? And all of a sudden, boom, his name is all over the place, you know? And so the guy said, it's one of your own colleagues. I said, oh, can you tell me to? He said, no, I can't tell you. But he just said, pray, gave me something to put on my lips, you know, like some kind of oil, you know, put on my lips, and said, the only thing he said was, be very, very careful. Keep a low profile. Yes, you will have friends. You cannot avoid it. But if you get in there as much as possible, do your job. If you're supposed to close at the time, spend some time alone. If it's in the library, nobody's saying stay away from people, but people are after you. So I looked at that as a threat, you know, not the threat of will kill you or what do you call it. Well, that's whether the person wanted to get rid of me or not, I don't know.
Yeah.
But after applying the oil, 30, 45 minutes, the lips started coming down. Wow. Now, the very person who did that to me was in jail in the US.
Wow.
Okay? It was later on that the pastor came back and revealed the name to me. And I said, my own colleague, my own teammate did this to me. So the question was, why are you doing this? To what end? What God has given you, nobody can take it away from you.
Right.
You go down in the grave, you take it with you.
Yeah.
But once you are alive, God says knowledge is power, like you rightly said. Disseminate information, give your knowledge out.
Yeah.
Okay? But it was just a simple word to get rid of me, jealousy. So that's the threat that I had.
Wow.
So,
Lana.
I have a question based on what you said. With you not having the educational background that was required to get to the position that you got to by your own self-learning, what type of challenges did you encounter with your colleagues, with people who usually, to say, would look low upon someone who doesn't have a degree, and you stood out and proved that you don't need to have a degree to be amazing at what you love? And, you know, what are those challenges that you faced, and how did you overcome all that was going on for you to get to the point where you got to?
That's a very brilliant question you've asked. Educational background, yes, it's important, depending on where you find yourself, what you're going to do, the requirements of the company or the organization. In my case, for instance, like I said, my head of programs, may he rest in peace, he said, look, in as much as this is the policy of GBC, I like his voice, I like the way he speaks, can we just try him? If it doesn't work, he goes, okay? But having said that, once I was given the opportunity, I said to myself, okay, I'm either going to make myself self-worthy by training myself, okay? People find it difficult to believe that I never had this educational background because of the way I speak, my level of English. You know, they think that I speak impeccable English and all that. But in the beginning of my career, when I was confirmed as a product of GBC and I got my letter, I said, this is a turning point. Because all my broadcasting career was just by mistake. I went into broadcasting by mistake. I wasn't trained as a broadcaster. I started training myself as a mechanic. In fact, Ghana was a fitter. Wow. You know. But then I guess after falling ill for some time, this was my fate, designed by, you know, the creator. But then I said to myself, once I've got this letter, tells me that I'm now a product of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. And I give them all the credit for giving me that chance.
Yeah.
But how different am I going to be? What am I going to do that will make me stand out? And I did a lot of listening. And unfortunately, a lot of people would do their program, finish, pack their bags, and go home without doing self-postmortem. I always did that. I recorded myself. I listened to myself. Even though it's difficult to listen to yourself when you're on radio or you've recorded, it sounds horrible. For what reason, I don't know. But I always did self-appraisal. I do my program. I go home. I listen. It was a challenge because it's boring. But then I was determined to be different. And so when I listen to myself, I tell myself, okay, I said this today at the beginning of the program, like you started the intro. I signed off this way. What can I say tomorrow that will make it different? And so I'll sit down. It was a huge challenge for me because I needed to write some of these things, rehearse, go on, as if I'm on air and all that and all that. And I was always thinking about radio. I would eat radio, drink radio, drive radio, sleep radio. Everything was radio. Okay? And so I would go into areas where I thought people were not going. People had the same perception of, oh, this program has been designed like this. So this is the kind of music you play. Okay? I had a problem with, or a challenge with one program that they gave me called Guitar Bandstand. It was a voice breaker on air. But I took that challenge up and I said, I'm going to make it different. I'm going to be me. Okay? I can never be like Troy. I can never be like you. You can never be like me. You can never be like me. Our traits and traits are different. Your talent is different. My talent is different. But I can take something from you. You understand what I'm saying? I can take the way she asked the question. Okay? It's a three-pronged question she asked.
Yeah.
I can take something from her and work on it. Chew it is in my head. Okay? So I'm a bit of Troy. I'm a bit of... and I'm a bit of Lana. And so I combine all that. But then the challenge for me was, am I going to sound like Troy? Am I going to sound like Lana? Am I going to sound like him or him? I'm going to combine it. And then it's like trying to do banku. You mix everything. And then the final product is what makes you who you are. Okay? But fast forward, my whole success in the music industry was something that I said, I'm going to try. Lana, it was a huge burden on me, which was the introduction of country music. All we had was high life, funk those days, reggae, what else, whatever genres of music. I said, let me be different, let me try it. And people will say that by country is for old people. But the number of young people who listen to country music today, and it exploded. It exploded. And
You got the name King of Country.
King of Country. And what even started the King of Country was when I was on Joy FM. I stopped introducing myself. Hello, good morning, welcome to Countryland. My name is Tommy Annan Forson, blah, blah. I created an aircraft that took off from the runway. The pilot was me communicating with the runway. I had recordings and I bridged all of them together. And you hear the aircraft taking off and then straight into my sick tune. And it was such a huge success. People just listened to that.
I remember on Sundays. Ah,
you see.
Jesus.
So those were the challenges I had. But I overcame them because I said, I am Tommy Annan Forson. I am me. I'm going to be different. I'm going to do research. Continue listening to myself and find out, I played this yesterday. I might repeat it today, but the way I introduce it or the way I back announce it should be different. So every day, you could never predict what me, Tommy Annan Forson, was going to be. You could never predict me.
Wow.
But today you can predict people.
Yeah.
You know how they're going to introduce a program, how to sign off.
Wow. Guys, I told you that today it's all about education. See, if you don't know, Uncle Tommy Annan Forson is actually the CEO of Rabodef. And then he's known as the Godfather of media or broadcasting in Ghana. He has touched a lot of lives. Do you think that in this day and age, do you think that the people that you trained, I mean, saying the things you said right now here, it made me cast my mind back to Kobna Dumont. I know for a fact that in those days, he would get to the studio at Joy FM at around 4 a.m. He will make sure, he will do his radio off air before he will come
That was
on
a
air.
prerequisite of me. You had to do it.
Yes. So, do you think that this new crop of media people, journalists, do you think that they've been able to go through the drill that your generation went through to become the kind of people that
Absolutely not. I had a policy when I was a programs manager for Joy FM and the general manager for Choice FM. In fact, it has always been my one of my key points as a professional. Okay, I had four points, 4 C's: cool, calm, collected, and composed.
Wow.
Why did I have that? Today, you're talking about new media. People are doing whatever they want, say whatever they want. Now they are even singing music as the music is playing, screaming and shouting. And I like what you said. You tune into 10 stations and people are screaming, you know? And so my policy was that you could have done your radio at home. That's your business. But my policy as an individual, as a manager, was get to the station 1 hour before time. Why? See if this piece of equipment is working. See if everything is working. Because the last thing you want is, whilst you're doing a program, this breaks down and it throws you completely off balance. Okay? It might sound crazy, but I do a program on Asase. I'm sorry, I'm advertising. I'm not.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
I do a program on Sundays from 8 to 11.
Yeah.
As a professional, I can get there 5 to 8, slot in my pen drive, and then I'm off. But you see, throughout the week, people have used the equipment. You don't know what has happened. I get there at 6:30 in the evenings, leave the house at 5:15. A program I start at 8. Insert my CD, my pen drive, and drag my SIG tune into the player and leave it there, because I know what's going to follow next. Once everything is working, I'm fine. Yeah. So I'm cool, I'm calm, I'm collected, and composed. So if during the program something goes on, I know how to handle it. But today, the new crop of broadcasters can call you in the studio and say, Charlie, bo, new mommy wide, I'm more traffic, not under the reins of Tommy Annan Forson. Hell no.
It's true. It's
No.
very true.
Even my training school, Rabodef, we start lectures at 9. You come in 2 minutes past 9, I walk you out. You're not part of the lecture. Because if you watch CNN, BBC, Al Jazeera, 9 o'clock is 9 o'clock.
Yeah, it's true.
9 o'clock is 9 o'clock. But today, TV stations can start at what? 3 minutes past, 5 minutes past.
Yeah.
And it's like, good evening, no apologies, no nothing.
Yeah.
But you see, one of the areas we need to look at is that how does your program, okay, everybody here is wearing a watch, okay? But the time settings could be different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But people use your time mention to run their lives.
Yes. That's true.
You understand what I'm saying? Right. So if I come on and say, oh, it's 8 o'clock, welcome to Soft and Gentle, somebody knows, 8 o'clock, I've got to be somewhere, I've got to be doing something. But today, no. You can't do that. So the new media, unfortunately, is taking people for granted because we are running at a breakneck speed. Yeah. Everybody's looking for the latest. Yeah. The latest music, the latest information. It goes on TikTok, it goes on Facebook, it goes on Instagram, all that and all that and all that, without having to check the facts. Yeah. You see? This is where we cannot do without the old media. The media, yes, look at technology. Yeah. Today you can hold your phone and transfer money into people's pockets. Yeah. Okay? All these things we can do with new media. But again, my question is, how is it affecting the intellect of the young ones today? Today's 6-year-old, 7-year-old is holding iPhone 14 and going to school. Now they are hiding, looking at Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, to say, some of them are even downloading pornographic material.
Oh, yes. Yes.
That is what the new media, which with social media is part of. Mm-hmm. But then, I would want to say that new media is good It's helping some people, okay? But it's also helping people negatively.
I think we are moving
Too
I
fast.
think we are moving fast, but we are losing time.
Exactly. The days where you had to put your hands behind your back and talk to an elderly person.
gone.
Today, they put their hands in their pocket and they are scratching their crotch.
Their balls.
That's why I use the word crotch. You know, you can look at a young man, you look at you and say, yo, what's up? What mamina sup? Is what I'll tell you and I'll deal with you. So you see, it's creating a lot of harm, even though to a very maybe small extent, we've also learned a lot from social media, but in the wrong way. So that's my personal opinion.
Because we can't even tell what is true. We can't
Exactly.
We can't tell what is a lie, and we
What is-
just take everything that comes and we take it to be fact.
Exactly. You know?
You know what's funny?
And, sorry, recently there was a post by Ngozi Zionu.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
people misread into it. As soon as I saw it, I saw what it was. People misread. And all the comments, oh, R.I.P., R.I.P., rest in peace, rest in peace. And the first thing I do is go on Google. Is this woman dead? I'm very much alive and what have you. So you see, the new media has also affected our brain in order to find facts, like you said. How do we know it's true, it's not true? That is why Google is there. So if you are not sure, okay, as we say in broadcasting, if unsure, delete. That means you don't use it.
Is Google actually 100% correct? Because I felt Google is like, it's just a sharing
Relying on it.
informations that are actually provided.
You see, the way I look at Google is that they have different sections. Okay? You can ask a question on Google. They might open different, and don't forget, Google itself is a combination of different websites from different people. Okay? So there might be different versions of a particular what you call, but in the end, you get a conclusive answer to the question that you are asking, depending on which area you are asking. So I wouldn't say it's 100%, but at least I'll look at it as maybe 98% because I get a lot of information from there. Somebody comes on Facebook, I see this person has died. The first thing I do is go on Google, is this person alive? Okay? Somebody came on and said Celine Dion had passed.
Yeah.
I went on the air and I said, no, she's suffering from a very rare disease. She can walk, but she's very much alive. You see? But then, no, R.I.P., rest in peace, right? You see? So to that, what Lana said, we don't even know what is true. We don't know what is not true. And unfortunately, bloggers are also contributing to that mess.
For clicks.
So my question is, and is it
Yeah,
not
for-
the responsibility of Media Commission, National Media Commission, to synthesize the whole media space? Because honestly, they've not really been up to task for some years
My brother, they can never be up to task.
Thank you.
They can never be. They are an entity that backs but cannot bite.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? So everything now is connection.
Right.
The era of freedom of speech. You understand me?
Yeah, that's also another big
Freedom,
conversation.
freedom before speech
Aha.
is
You see?
guaranteed. But
But-
freedom after speech.
Can get you something. You
Get
never
you
know.
into trouble.
You see, so it's a whole blanket of blunders, comedy of errors.
Comedy of errors.
You see, every error is like comic relief. You see? I mean, if you're not careful, it's like everybody needs to create a zip on his mouth. Except you want to keep that zip open and be a blabbermouth.
Okay.
Then, of course, you will have problems. Unfortunately, look at someone like Swally. You see? So you cannot open your mouth and speak the truth because you will be blacklisted.
Wow.
You will be blacklisted. For me, both old media, mass media, present media, is all good to a certain degree. There are certain mistakes as humans we have all made through social media, through previous media, and then new media. Okay? Life has run so fast.
Yeah.
Like you rightly said, you are running, but you are losing track of time. Okay? So where are we going to learn from?
So, one of the things that really changed the dynamics of media and radio, TV was actually the coup that happened. You have lived long enough. I mean, you've been on this tangent for 40-something years. We didn't, or we were not privy to some of these things. But you, what has been, or what did you experience that kind of coup? And then what can we learn from it in this day and age?
I experienced one particular coup. I would not want to go into details because it makes me very emotional.
Okay.
Very, very emotional, because a small scenario of where one question was asked: why did you allow these people to broadcast? Shoot them. I would not be sitting here today on Afropod. So it kind of brings back memories, but it was a very horrible thing. But you see, I would not say that any coup has changed the life of people. Maybe to a certain level it puts some fear in us, because the gun is always something to be feared of. But not even today. Today people don't fear gun. You understand me?
Yeah.
But I think the molding of every character is dependent on you, the person. Everything that you want to be in life is dependent on you. You understand what I'm saying? So if you want people to respect you, you must learn to respect others. Every discussion that we have, whatever I come out with, I always say it's my personal opinion.
Okay.
Today, okay, you have people who are ruling the airwaves. All right? But of course, Troy will listen to a certain genre of music depending on his mood. I will do the same thing. But you might have a preference. Your preference might be Afro-pop, hip life, whatever it is. My preference sometimes is all country. You sit in my car, it's country. If you don't like it, I open the door, you get out. You understand what I'm saying? But having said that, you realize that those days you could listen to sense when it comes to the lyrics. Today, personal opinion, what can you get sensibly out of the music?
Oh, this boy.
It is noise.
Again,
Again, it's my personal opinion. It is noise. I cannot listen to one person rap from A to Z and I'll get anything sensible out of it.
All artists?
Not all.
The new generation?
The new generation.
All of them?
Not all of them.
So,
some of them make sense.
Okay, so which one?
Okay?
Like who?
But you see, unfortunately, some of them are taking advantage of the fact that, oh, the young people like them.
Yeah.
So now I can come out with any rubbish.
As long as you can play it at the club, people will dance to
Exactly.
it. You are making your money.
That's it. Radio has become such that people say that is what the people want. You understand what I'm saying? That is what the people want. The same people who want this are the same people who say, oh, what a pity. Because you were feeding them with what they wanted. You were not getting sponsorship. You were not getting commercials. And so you cannot pay your bills. What happens? Your station was forced to shut down.
They're like children.
Exactly. You understand what I'm saying? Yes, let's give them what they want. That's what they want. Sometimes, in order to heal somebody, you've got to shove that medicine down their throat. But if we give them our station policy, why do you think today Atlantis stands out?
So many
Gradually,
years.
their advert rates are picking up. Because frankly speaking, like you rightly said, you listen to a station in the morning, you get up at 5 o'clock, your head is not cleared. You're thinking of how you're going to pay school fees. You're thinking of how you're going to put breakfast on the table. You're thinking of how to put fuel in your car. And you listen to radio and it's big. Even preachers, you can't even focus. Preachers. You understand me? So if you go against your own policies because of what people want, master, the same people will fail you. I might listen to a song that you create. I might like it for two reasons: the rhythmic pattern and the lyrical pattern as to whether the lyrical pattern can help me. Music talks to us.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? But how does it affect us emotionally? If you listen to a genre of country music, it talks about love, marriage, and what have you. We learn from it, okay? But in as much as the consumer, to a certain degree, has a choice, but his choice is what kind of music does he want to listen to, okay? But then there's also this adaptive purposes where the person can listen to only high life, but today he's adapting listening to classical music. If I tell you I listen to classical music, you might say, what? Tommy Annan Forson listen to classical music.
So it can happen.
Yes, because if you listen and you go into a state of meditation, it makes a lot of sense. You cannot meditate with today's rap music. Okay? Today people are talking about Meyi Woodross. You know, what do you...
So if you're
a simple...
meditating on that,
So you don't even talk about the how many I'm gonna get.
Aha.
I want to tell you the day.
Okay.
In the daily the gay.
You understand me? So all these things are affecting us. So the choice of the listener is whether I want to listen to it or not. It's his choice.
Yeah.
Okay? But the listener does not have control over what we should give them. But vice versa, if you listen to radio stations, I've had situations where a general manager will say, boho.
Because that's where.
Because that's where, So you think controversy makes interesting discussion.
Yeah.
Controversy. But how dangerous is it? Where, to a point where now presenters are being attacked. The loss of professionalism in the media has attributed to all the nonsense, if I should say, we hear on the airwaves. Thank you. If there was a system where, like in the US or in London, before you set up a radio station, they must know your agenda. Mm-hmm. They must know your program output. Mm-hmm. They must know your circumference, how long. They must know whether you are politically affiliated or not. Look, media, the best media is to remain neutral. Is to remain neutral. Nobody knows your political affiliation. But as a person today, me, Tommy, nobody knows which party I will vote for, but I have my party. Yeah. But tell me to talk politics on radio. It is my station. I'll walk out. You understand what I'm saying? It's a very dangerous game, that thing. But then, the owners were looking more at the commercial side of it rather than the professional side. They have not invested into training. Mm-hmm. So if you don't self-train and say, look, I don't belong to this category. I'll work on your station, but this is my area. Take it or leave it, okay? But also, for the lack of jobs, people look for the jobs. They get the jobs, and therefore the station manager says, Master, this is my policy. You do it or you leave. Because of the money. Again, it boils down to the same thing, money. They will do what the station manager tells them. And so today, you realize that Joy stands out.
Yes, I was coming to that.
Even though now it's known as a political station. But people can tell where they call it. But who creates that political station? It is we. The station is standing there. The equipment is there. It is we. The owner of Joy FM does not interfere.
He doesn't even have a phone.
He doesn't carry a cell phone.
Mm-hmm. phone.
If you don't get him in the office on landline, forget it.
I think it's the reason why, for me personally, I love Joy so much. You see, when you work with Joy, the kind of training, every time you walk, it's like somebody is patting you at the back. They are telling you to tone a professional. And once in a while, they take people on refresher courses and all that. And I really respect Joy so much. I don't know whether I'm so biased when it comes to Joy FM. I don't know whether because I grew up listening to them. But you could see and you could, as at today, even like you're saying, even though we say politics and all that, but you could see, so Joy has a level of professionalism when it comes to radio broadcasting. And I don't know how they were able to do it all these years, but they've done well for themselves.
Look, I can ask a presenter today, Master, what is an intro? What is the bridge? What is an outro? Trust me, we'll not be able to tell you.
Of course.
It's a broadcasting term. What is an intro?
Yeah.
What is a bridge? We'll not be able to tell you. Okay? But today, professionalism,
It's out the window.
It's
Yeah,
thrown out
like,
of the window.
like that was what I was saying.
Yeah.
The talent is not
because
enough
look,
anymore.
me, one of the reasons why I do my playlist is that you are not supposed to speak over lyrics. It is not allowed in the broadcasting profession. You don't speak over lyrics.
That's it. I don't like
Yes,
them.
because the person created the lyrics to talk to you and me, and you are speaking over lyrics. You understand me? Even to the point where presenters are speaking with the song that they are playing.
So please, would you say that the TV and radio stations and the social media, would you say that the radio stations are like diminishing or they would rise again?
It depends. It depends on how you look at it. Okay? When you talk about diminishing, maybe you are looking at
Dying out.
yeah, dying out. No, it won't die out. But you see, it will die a natural death, even though it might exist, but people will stop listening to it. Okay? I would listen to maybe you because of your voice, the way you speak. But I'll call you and say, Madam, you are annoying because you are speaking over lyrics. Stop it. Okay? I'm able to time my songs in such a way that the moment I finish speaking, the lyrics begin. If there's an outro where the lyrics end the outro, you wait till the song finishes and then you back announce. But now, everything is just thrown out the window. So, who am I to say I'm changing the system? I won't change the system. That is how the system has created itself. Okay? But I would self-train myself. Forget about the fact that Joy FM or some stations send their people outside. People can do that. But trust me, Master, today I can beat my chest and say I am who I am today because I self-learned.
Right.
How many of them go into the dictionary? Let's not even talk about that. Okay? And I'm sorry to do this, but mispronunciations have gone on here right now. But
Plenty.
plenty.
Of course.
You are saying professionalism. There's nothing like professionalism.
Professionalism.
It's professionalism.
Hey.
I'll say, hey.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yes.
English.
It's
English
what?
now your me.
Professionalism.
And then I said
Professionalism.
professionalism.
Yes.
Professionalism.
Evangelism. It's not evangelism.
Hey, bro. Fuck.
English now your me.
Yes.
You see?
What? Make us speak PG.
But somebody will say, oh, yeah, too known. That is the way I was brought up. That was the
Yeah.
way I trained myself.
Yourself.
Journalism. They say journalism.
Journalism. Journalism.
Well, thank you. You see, that's one thing I like about you. Come out with one thing and then you've hit the I'll say the head on the nail, not the nail on the head.
Your pentum,
You see?
generation,
So
your
the
pentum.
whole media landscape is corrupt. I'm sorry to say this. Not in that term, but to a large extent, yes. But it's corrupt because today I come and do a program, I finish, pack my pen drive, go and drink beer and sleep. Me, I still do post-mortem.
There's something I noticed with what happened with, if it's okay, if we can talk about it, what happened with Cheddar Freedom the other day with the shutdown of the old events and everything. I noticed something, we all noticed something. Most of the media, what they are reporting in Ghana is different from what the media outside are reporting. What do you think is going on in the media there? Because in here, the report is different. Out there, because I could see most of bloggers outside in Nigeria, in South Africa, they reported it differently
But it's an
from
agenda.
what has been reported here.
Apart from,
Agenda.
that's a good question. Apart from being agenda, okay, I heard Troy say this. I've taken it from Troy. Meanwhile, Troy has taken it from somebody else. Okay? Lana hears it from me. She takes a newspaper. She reports it differently based on what I said. So a lot of it is hearsay.
Like the Bible.
No clarification.
I think I'm on the side a little bit. I don't really want to kind of. So now I think let's just open a little bit. It was actually the one who took that very news by himself to Nigeria. Reported like that, for him like that. Paid bloggers to report it
Agenda.
like
Set.
that. So now, even some persons were saying, under the comments, some persons were saying, so why are bloggers or media houses in Ghana not reporting this very incident?
Agenda.
And then some were saying, oh, are they corrupt or they don't want to?
Agenda.
I was like,
Yeah.
we just noticed that. We just
Agenda.
noticed that.
Agenda.
Like, come on.
You see,
Right.
you see how do bloggers eat?
Money. They need money.
So whether the story is true, is not true, in as much as you they pay,
Everybody's
will move
okay,
forward.
yeah.
So
Wow.
please, can you skew, take it this way, small? You see? So the reports will be different.
Me, when I worked with Adum FM those days, there's a popular, very big presenter with one of the Despite Media. He's big. Everybody knows him. In those days, before he comes to the radio station, before he goes on air, he has an agenda. He has fished out an information from a top politician. So when he comes, he will be hitting he won't go directly to the point, but he'll be hitting as if he wants to. Then, before you realize, his phone will be ringing. Then he'll give the phone to the producer. You go downstairs, envelope, brown envelope, comes up. Come and give it to him. It means that that conversation needs to be shut. If the call doesn't come, he will do go ahead and then release the information.
Look, I worked at a particular station where we were coming out. I won't name the station, I won't name the presenter, but there was a story, and it was a true story. Okay? It had to come out.
Yeah.
We had authoritarian, what do you call it, that killed that story. And I was the general manager then. I said, either I resign or I'm not killing that story. Put it on the air. Because it was a fact. Why are you hiding the fact from the people? This is what they need to know.
Not much analysis
Yeah,
if
it's
you're
not.
saying real.
It's cash cow.
The person said, drop the story. I said, no, sir, with all due respect. If that story is dropped, I'll walk out. And I'll state reasons why I resigned. How about that? Because that will also go on another station.
Yeah.
So I'll go out with the story that was supposed to come out. And based on that, I resigned because I was asked to kill the story. It won't happen. It will still come out anyway.
And
Wow.
somebody could even cash out on that and be like, oh, is that what happened?
Exactly.
Okay, come work with us, we'll pay you, we'll do it. All you have to do is bring out that story.
So at the end of the day, everything boils down to one thing. Money.
Money. Okay, guys, money.
Hey,
Let's
George,
wrap
please,
up.
George,
Let's wrap
please,
up.
before we
I
wrap
think
up,
we've had
before we
enough
wrap up.
conversation. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever actually chased a story? Like you were so invested in that story?
I've chased a story in pajamas before, if you understand what I mean. Yes, in pajamas. I went to the station in pajamas. That was one of the reasons I started getting these promotions. How many people will run to, what do you call it, to chase a story or do something in a radio station in pajamas?
Wow.
Passion.
Passion.
So I've done all sorts of things. But you see, one thing you will never influence me with is money.
Money.
My brother, my sister, if it was money, based on the fact that Tommy Annan Forson's name is huge, 47 years in broadcasting, I would have been filthy rich. But I'm rich in the Lord. You understand me? But you cannot influence me with say, Tommy, take this and bash it. It won't happen. Take your money.
Yeah.
That's me.
Uncle
Integrity is paramount.
Uncle Tommy is rich spiritually. Charlie, it's been how many? Over an hour. And Troy, you've been quiet.
Oh,
You've been
how can I
listening
be
to the
quiet? I
conversation.
didn't listen.
We
You
want
say-
your input.
How I didn't listen, you say I'll be quiet.
No, you've been
I'm
very
not
quiet.
quiet.
You've been.
Perhaps he was just enjoying the conversation.
Exactly, I was enjoying the conversation from when you picked up for and then where you got
So
to.
just let's wrap up from you.
Can I just ask you one question? Are you doing radio?
So I don't have a background, but I did 2 years with CTFM.
No wonder. Because I'll say your voice is radiogenic.
Thank you.
Straight up. Radiogenic.
Hey.
Don't give it up. If you can, don't give it up.
Thank you.
The tallest man.
So When you spoke about
maybe Naime can
entertainment,
keep quiet.
mine is there's nothing new under the sun. Because obviously, this entertainment thing they are doing, hosting, before Bolari's time on TV3, there was Eko Poncho, Guinness for your dancing feet. We saw all that. They were nice, they were beautiful. There were nothing negative attached to it. And then let's fast forward, let's come to today's era. You spoke about the fact that people chance on information, and because of money, they can't do away with this. You might not be. I'm sure Uncle Tommy has a belief with posterity. So you wouldn't do some of the things you're talking about. With the younger generation, they don't see anything wrong with it. That's fine. You won't see it today. You're not going to see them tomorrow. But in the near future, it will come back. It might not hurt you, but it might hurt your family or maybe
Exactly.
And it's very important for people to actually pay attention to stuff like that. I don't have a problem with journalism being like corrupt and all that. Every place be corrupt, even the church. But sometimes, put your people first. Social media. When you go to my hometown, Kwesiase, there's nothing like social media. They listen to the Peace FMs, the Adom FMs, and the rest. Who are the ones employing them? Businessmen. Kwesi Chum, you mentioned, he's a businessman. If they employ them, right? Who trains them? The kind of people who were training some of them in the past have retired. Are they going back to the older folks to tap knowledge? No. Are they learning on the job? No. What are they?
Are they self-learning?
No.
So if it's money, we might not see today, but the ripple effect is going to come later when we might all not be alive.
And something will come back. One question before we finally wrap up. Are you aware that vinyl is coming back?
Oh, really?
Vinyl. LPs.
Yeah. They are coming back?
Not that they have come. They've
started.
Back. They've started. And Britain has made millions of pounds in sales. Because people want to lift the stylus and put it on.
Is that a modernized?
No, I even want one in my living room. That'd be vintage lifestyle.
They're coming back with the record
Serious
players.
one.
Vintage lifestyle.
They're coming back with the record players. People want to lift and put it and then scratch.
The process.
Not the process. Not the pioneer where artificial mixing. No. They've come back. They're coming back with the 33.5. They're coming back with the 45. 45 are the small.
Yeah.
They're coming back.
Uncle, we've spoken a lot. I mean, you've given us a lot of insight and all that. This word, I want to be very careful. Be careful. I want you to let us in on some of your nostalgic moments back in the days up to now.
Oh, it depends on which era you're talking about.
The era of Uncle Tommy Annan Forson.
I think the most interesting thing for me was the day I went on air at 6 a.m. on Joy FM. We're then
The
at
25th anniversary.
No. When we started in 1995.
Oh, okay.
We're then at Ajangote. It was a very far, a genius journey. But initially, I harbored some fear because we had a certain strict policy in GBC. Don't say this, don't say that, don't do this. I was the first person to laugh on the air on GBC, and I got into trouble for laughing on the air. Because they expect you to go there and then talk and make your face like a loaf of bread and not look at, anything. But I laughed on air. I got into trouble. I said, please, you take me as I am. I'll laugh. Either that or you sack me. I've not committed any crime. That was how laughter started on radio. You understand what I'm saying? So when I went on air, I would say certain things and then I would retract. Because I was too used to that mechanism of being...
The restrictions.
Yeah, restrictions. Straight jacket. And at a point in time, I said, what the hell? This is private radio. I called Kwesi Chum. I said, Kwesi, I'm letting loose. He said, so long as you don't offend anybody, so long as it's not political, do whatever you want. Me, I want the numbers. I want the numbers. And I remember that 1st of May, 1995, from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., I was alone on the air. Accra turned upside down. I brought every skill that I knew. And when I went to him, I said, today I have been relieved of that straight jacket. I'm not going to be the broadcaster that I know myself to be, and I will make it. And here I am today.
Wow. That's awesome. That's really, really awesome. Guys, I told you from the onset that we're going to be educated, informed, and entertained. Of course, we've been. And
Mame Hanukaka, educated.
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 Some
Mame
brofu.
Don't mind me. Don't mind me.
Educated. Who can
Educated.
educated? So maybe I can say,
Who here
hey.
to know?
So yes, before we leave, I would love us to, give us our closing remarks. Starting from Lana, you are the lady. Let's start from you.
The ladies first.
Yeah, ladies first. Your
She
closing
has a
remarks.
lovely smile. You know.
Yeah.
She has a lovely smile. You can give a car a puncher.
Uncle Tom,
I
you have words. Old wine.
I tell you, it's the best.
For me, I have been very educated today. Like, a lot has been said. There are so many things that I was not aware of or did not understand that I really got to understand. And I just want to say, like, a big thank you for educating us.
Huh? And then,
so
marking scheme. Mr. Sticks, what's your last take on our topic
it's-
today?
It's been an amazing evening, Like her uncle has actually, kind of, throw more lights into some things, which, I'm new in town, so I've not actually really
Okay,
know,
okay.
but I made my research and every other thing, and it was actually absolutely very, very excellent. So, to the media, I just felt like I don't think there's something that can actually be taken away when it comes to media, because there are still people that will still listen to it. There are still people that will listen to radio. People still promote their stuff on radio. They still promote their businesses on radio. They still promote their businesses on TVs. They still do all of this thing. So I felt every mass media would do well. Even newspaper are
Yeah.
still selling. Magazine are still right out there. It might not be the way it is, but there are still people who still jet. And I love an upgrade they've done. Like, people on radio nowadays, they do live recording and they put it on social media. They do live streaming and then they make good money from it. So I love the kind of modulations they put on their craft or their area of specialty. I really love that. And it's been an amazing evening with you. I really love this. I love intellectual conversations, and then you've actually given us loads of it this evening. So we really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Troy.
Yeah. So we've learned a lot, and new media, it's a good thing, but let's use it positively. These days, we've seen traditional leaders bantering on social media. When I was a kid, I never saw that. We've seen politicians bantering on social media. It's there to impact positive thoughts into our heads. So let's use it wisely. Old media, we shouldn't do away with it, right? These bloggers nowadays, I have a big problem with them. 2 days ago, they posted a woman in a gown, and the caption was "wedding guest wearing a gown or dressed like a bride." You don't know who that person is, right? When you put such video out there, you are tarnishing that. You're actually ridiculing that woman.
Exactly. They've destroyed a lot of
And
relationships.
you never know. Someone chew a gum, a blogger videos, put it on their page, they get the numbers and they feel that is all. That is not all. Today you are doing it to people.
Yeah.
Tomorrow
To be
I
done
will
to you.
come back to you.
Sure.
So thank you very much, Uncle Tom.
Uncle,
Thank
before you leave, right, based on our topic, just 2 minutes or less, how do we shape the media landscape?
Like a triangle. Because it will go and it will come back. You cannot change the system on your own. It's a collective effort. Unfortunately, when it comes to the issue of influencers, influencers are overshadowing people like you, because they've got the influence when it comes to the issue of envelopes, and so it's going to take a collective effort, which unfortunately I hate to say will probably take years to come. Tony Blair once said, "That is not to say this is what I want to happen, But in order to have war, or in order to have peace, you must have a war. You understand me? So in order for you to have that kind of professionalism, you're going to have to receive and deal with a lot of criticism. And if you cannot take criticism, forget it. That was how I learned. And this is where I will end by saying that I was given a chance. God gave me the talent. I did what I had to do behind the machine. I communicated to people. I disseminated information. I entertained people. But the people who made me who I am today and took my name to a level where sometimes I cannot even understand is people like you. Because it is people like you who said, we love Uncle Tommy, we hate Uncle Tommy, he must do this and do that. And so for every criticism, I worked on it. And every praise, I worked on it. I could not have done it on my own because I was just one person sitting behind the machine. But it's the listeners who made me who I am today. So I should be rather saying, thank you, and God bless you.
God bless you too. Thank you so much, guys. Yeah, Charlie. Today, we've been educated.
Oh, yeah.
Bravo. Oh.
Enjoy, you go fail exam.
Oh,
I'm
Charlie.
for you.
I go fail exam, so I fail already, Seth. But we can't even. I mean, you've been tagged as the Godfather of radio.
I wonder who gave me that time.
And everybody's giving you all the accolades. And then, so guys, today we've been having our Uncle Tommy Annan Forson. He's the founder of Rabodef. He's been on radio in Ghana here for the past 47 years. I was a spam. Guys. Yeah. 47
You
years.
have grown one
It
at
clear
that
for your eye.
You clap for
You
my
think say you grew.
Hey, Charlie.
Because you think say you
These are
grew. Now
grow.
it clear for your eye
Oh, boy,
today. You dey give us 30. You dey do a 30 that time.
Oh boy, I never grow like that. Uncle, thank you so much. Guys, thank you so much for allowing us to come to your homes. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tweeting, sharing, commenting. See, we need more of these. Your reviews, whether good or bad, everything, we need it. Just let them come. Go to our YouTube channel, Afropod. Go to IG, go to Twitter, go to Facebook, everywhere. Let your comments come. Let your reviews come. We will work on it and we'll get better as we grow. We thank you so much. God bless you for watching us. Until we come your way next week, it is adios.